This video is sponsored by Magic Spoon.
Yo dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighbor JaxBlade here, and after watching today's video, you'll be able to stick to any healthy eating plan effortlessly. Here's what we're going to be talking about today. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I have so many people on this channel who are like so motivated. They got the willpower to just, they want to be like their favorite superheroes they see in media, or like their favorite anime characters, just, you know, get those nice aesthetic athletic bodies too, because on this channel we're focusing on fitness, health, and strength, and just being mentally better all over. But the one thing I keep seeing over and over again is they have a problem with their eating, because eating is such a crucial part, because we see these anime characters and they're always just eating a ton, and I've actually done a video on like how they were able to eat a bunch and stay that lean, so be sure to watch this video after this. But the whole thing about them is like they don't necessarily have the best diets. Well, some of them don't. And the sad reality is a lot of people have been conditioned to think that like eating healthy has to be really boring, or like it's just going to be like such a sacrifice that they won't ever be able to like maintain it once they get their results that they want for themselves. So I just said, you know what, F it, let's just make a video breaking down each part that we can go through. Now I do got to say there's tons of great cookbooks out there. Like for example, Greg Doucette has this great anabolic cookbook, but there are also like tons of people on TikTok who are like do recipes and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I'm actually working on my own cookbook, which I'll be releasing later this year, hopefully. And it's just got all these things, you know, about like getting all these different recipes that are so great at helping you just have a variety of ways to maintain your health and your fitness, and just make it more enjoyable and not make it like this is such a chore to do. Like you hate this thing, because I see so many people who are just like in that 70s bodybuilder era where it's like no seasonings, no salt, no whatsoever, and that's just not the case. So the first thing we got to touch on is variety. Now this is something I call 777s, or like, you know, like God mode basically with your dieting. And what it is you basically choose 7 different breakfasts, 7 different lunches, and 7 different dinners. The reason I say 7 different for each of those is because let's say the easiest way to get in shape is literally to eat the same exact thing every single day. If you were able to eat the same exact meals every single day and hit your calories, making sure you're either in a deficit if you're cutting, or in a, you know, surplus if you're bulking, or you're getting enough water, your training is on point, and you're getting plenty of rest, you know, recovering, you're sleeping, then this is going to allow you to just get those results at the fastest way possible. But the thing is, some people can't go like robotic mode like that, where they just eat the same exact thing every single day for like 16 weeks. And when they do, they just like lose their crap and they're just like, I'm just gonna eat whatever afterwards. So it's not necessarily the most maintainable thing. Now, some people can do it effortlessly. Some people are just like, I don't really care about like eating a variety of foods. I just want to eat consistently and just get my results. So if you can do that, by all means, that is a quote unquote secret on how you can maintain a great physique effortlessly year round. But if you're someone who has a lot of trouble with that, like for instance, for me, I can't eat the same thing more than like 3 or 4 days in a row, or I'll get like tired of it, or I'll like overeat it to a point where it's, you know, like that parappa the rappa thing.
I want 100-year supply of noodle products. At first, I liked it, but now I don't even want to look at it.
So again, the reason I recommend the 777 thing is because you can always vary. So if you like have a certain meal that you can eat every single day, but then there's a certain other one that you can't eat every single day. For example, I can eat oatmeal and protein powder and all that stuff every single day, just like religiously at this point. It's just a simple thing to fill me up and give me energy in the morning. But if there's certain other things, like certain lunches or dinners, like there this pizza I was making, if you follow me on my Instagram, JaxBlade, which you definitely should, because you'll see like a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, I like posted this image of this pizza I made recently, and it's one of those things where I know I love it, but if I eat it every single day, I will get tired of it and then I won't want to eat it anymore, and so that sucks. So this is why having 7 different like lunches, dinners, and breakfast all pays off. And who's to say you have to have like breakfast food at breakfast? You can like, you know, pull a Candace and have like lasagna for breakfast if you want. You can have like breakfast for dinner, have a Brenner, you know, something like that. All of this is going to do is let you be consistent, and that is the key thing. If you can find a way to make this effortless, then you will not want to, you know, go and like splurge on other foods that aren't necessarily the best for you.
Talking about breakfast, let's talk about Magic Spoon. As a kid growing up in the 90s, cereal was always my jam when I watched my Saturday morning cartoons and anime and all that jazz. And so that's why I'm super grateful for Magic Spoon for sponsoring today's video. Magic Spoon is a cereal made for getting them superhero gains IRL with a good amount of protein with 0 grams of sugar and plenty of great taste. And it's also great for people who want a keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and just low-carb breakfast. It comes in a variety of flavors, and my personal favorite is frosted. And I love eating this either pre or post-workout with like either some milk in it. And just when when I'm like, vibing out, or just like when I'm watching anime and tunes. If you want to try it right now, go to magicspoon.com/JaxBlade in my description box down below and use the promo code JaxBlade to get a discount on your order. Trust me, it's really worth it.
And you can actually make those foods very delicious. It's just, like those pro tags are always just eating an insane amount of food and stuff like that. For example, you can eat pizza and burgers and all that stuff every single day. It just depends on how you make it. Now, you shouldn't be going to like, let's say Shake Shack or like, Pizza Hut or Papa John's and all that stuff every single day, because that's going to, build up that artery thing. So for example, if you're a person who does If It Fits Your Macros, where you just like eat whatever, I don't think that is the best for the long run. It's good for short-term goals and helping you reach that stuff, because I have tons of fitness model friends who do that. But the problem with it is, as I explained in this video, which you can watch in depth, where I talked about how you can make a diet plan, which is going to help you just have, see if it's helping you or see if it's hurting you. This is the best way to go about doing that. But the problem with If It Fits Your Macros, with like, let's say you're eating fast food every single day, is while it may give you a look aesthetically, internally, it's messing you up. So that I explained fully in depth there, so I'm not going to rehash what I say. But this is just a way of you to take better control of the action. So it's like, oh, I want cheeseburgers tonight. Instead of going out and, buying one, I can go, oh, I'm gonna make one. And I can use either lean ground beef, lean ground turkey, lean ground chicken. I can use those Beyond Burgers, those Impossible patties, stuff like that. And as I mentioned before in that earlier video, a lot of unhealthy foods that you love can be made healthy just depending on how you do it. But I'd say this works better with savory foods the most though, because a lot of savory foods, you just look at what makes them unhealthy and it's like the way they prepared. So for example, it's like, oh, it's the grease, it's the fat, they're cooked in lard, they got all these different condiments on them, they're very high fattening and stuff like that aren't really good for your arteries. But it's like, okay, what can I do to make this healthy? What can I do to make this like healthier? I was like, okay, I'm gonna change this condiment out, gonna add a lot more vegetables, gonna add this, and then I have a delicious burger which tastes good and is nourishing for me. And if you can get a majority of your foods like that throughout the week, then it's just gonna make maintaining your goals or getting your goals so much easier. And of course, make sure you're watching your calories, as we talked about before. You take your body weight in pounds and multiply that by 15. That on average should give you, your maintenance level calories. And if you want to bulk from that, add about 500 extra calories to that. And if you want to, get less than that, to get a calorie deficit, then subtract 500 calories from that. And that should just give you a certain easy thing to follow just visually. And then use MyFitnessPal, of course, to track your food. That'll just make this so much easier. And then like the results will start coming gradually, and then they'll just become effortless for you. Also, by increasing your protein intake with certain foods, you'll be able to feel that satiety or society. We live in a society. No, satiated more. You'll feel full longer by eating those type of foods, because what they're doing is having that extra protein. It has this thermal effect where it takes your body a lot longer to burn it down, which will actually let you burn some extra calories while you're eating more of it. And it's also really good just for helping you recover your muscle growth, and helping you have more muscles allows you to burn more fat, as we've talked about in this video. So I've done a lot of these topics before, but I think they're very helpful on just helping people build up that consistency so they don't have to worry about it. And as we talked about before on this channel, if you find foods that are like healthy and like, they may not be as good as like the original thing, that's okay, because you don't want to like overeat the thing, but then you don't want to like undereat it, because like, so many people get in their chicken broccoli and brown rice phase and they just never get out of it. And then they were like, develop sort of eating disorders from that, as I've talked about before in my mental health videos. It is just a thing to allow you to be super consistent, and then you can probably get to a point where you don't even want to eat unhealthy food. You don't want to eat junk food anymore, because it's like, this makes me feel like crap. That is like a fun fact of doing this sort of eating, is it's like a double-edged sword of sense, where like you will eat so much of it that you feel so good and so productive and you've got so much energy going for you. But when you go back to eat, like, let's say like some McDonald's or something like that, it feels like, oh, I could taste it's not as good as it used to be. Now, sometimes they work really well, but sometimes it's just like, it's not as good. So you look for something else, and that's completely fine. Do not take that as a negative. That is a bonus. And of course, I want to make this super clear, like, because your social life is very important, all right? Some people sacrifice their social life completely, and like, it's just modifications, all right? Instead of drinking with your friends, just like drink some water or something like that. It's all good. Like, you don't have to like get crunk with your friends, or, you go out to a restaurant with them. What I actually have started doing, because I go to a lot of conventions, as a matter of fact, I'll be at MomoCon at May 28th to the 1st. So if you're there, come see me. It's going to be super fun. What I'll do is I'll scope out the restaurants restaurants in the area. So for example, if we're going to a restaurant, it's like, oh, I'll get this from the menu. This looks like it'll be good. So what I typically get is like a burger. I love burgers. I think burgers are better than steak in a lot of ways, which is, I guess it's just one of those situations where people are like, how dare you, or something like that. But I've always preferred a good burger over a good steak. And then sometimes I'll just be like, okay, I'm just gonna get it without the bun, don't need the bun, and I'll get it like in a lettuce wrap, and then I'll eat it just, you know, how it is. And it was like, oh wow, this is a really good filling burger. And then sometimes I have potato wedges with it. It depends on how I'm going about getting it. Like, but I'll look at so many various restaurants in the area, because like there are so many people you're with, they're like, oh, let's go eat, or let's go here. Or then you just, you know, you can do these little modifications to yourself, and that is what's going to allow you to make results year round instead of just being like this. But also, I don't want you to get into this habit of just like sacrificing so much. Like I know some people who do this thing now, unless you're like competing for a bodybuilding competition. If you're competing for a bodybuilding competition or a fitness competition, I mean, respect, but it is one of those situations where you have to make a lot of sacrifices because you're actively trying to do something. But if you're just like trying to be healthy and fit for life and just have this thing going for you, and you're like, oh, I don't want to go out with my friends to do this, or I don't want to do this or this or this, and then you completely sacrifice and recluse yourself, that's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. I'm telling you from experience. And I think you should just, you know, go and just find modifications of how you can go about doing it. Okay. Like if you want to have pizza, you know, just be more rational about how you consume it. If you feel like I cannot control myself, that is the thing that you want to work on for yourself, that mental control, as I talked about in this video, about how important it is to have control over yourself and your actions. So you must find a way to, like, you know, take that for yourself. All right. Again, you're not alone. And if you need help for those sort of things, there's always therapy. Never forget, you're not alone. This is more important than your gains. Well, dudes and dudettes, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you learned something, and that will get you those Super Saiyan superhero gains for yourself and let you just be like completely confident and feel good throughout the entire year. But again, if you want to check out something, check out my sponsorship with Magic Spoon. It's really good. Also, I'm giving away a program on discount right now, my Almighty Guide program, which is basically how it's a Deku training in real life. If you made it this far in the video, type Soma goals down below, like Soma from Food Wars. I love Food Wars. It's just such a fun show. And like, also, if you have a recipe or like a food thing that you like, that you found that was a nice replacement, post it down below. If you, as a matter of fact, as many people who watch this, like, just post down below, because it gives people like a list of recipes or something like that, or list of various things they try out that they never would have thought of. So if you have any things that you found helped you, most definitely like put them down below. Like I went to like a video once where it was like a recipe video, and someone was like, I actually started using this instead of this, and that's why I made much of a difference. And then I tried it and I was like, oh wow, that actually works incredibly well. So, you know, do that in the description box, or not description box, the comment section down below. I think that's just really, really cool. But remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, don't forget, Momentai. Hope you have a great one. Working on the Mega Spider-Man video, and working on new Tough Like the Tunes and new Would That Work Out. So be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Peace.